It's time to take this fight to an all-new front. Go behind the scenes. Be the first to know about our exclusives. And stay connected. Only one man has what it takes to bring the fun of Comic-Con right to your screen. It's time for an all-new episode of Kickin' It with Onrie, the live shopping show.
Victory Seekers, you're watching Kickin' It with Onrie. I'm your host, Onrie Kompen, and man, do I got a show for you guys today. We're going to have so much fun. Prior to me getting on the show today, I went and dug around because in order for me to share with you guys what I have to say today and what I'm going to do with our wonderful guests who are hanging out backstage here, I had to do some rummaging around, and I found some really cool stuff, and I got a whole ton of it, and I'm willing to get rid of it for really, really cheap. And this is actually some Shin related stuff. But I also got collectible stuff too. I got our new, special guest, Timmy David, who's going to be coming on. He's backstage right now. I'm sorry, I did a really bad intro for him. Usually I try and really build up the guests, especially people who are going to be recurring. Timmy's been collecting comics for a long time. He's also an artist as well, so he's done like some sketch covers, and he's phenomenal. He's a great guy. He is Kevin's cousin, and he is going to be selling his stuff through us now, and he's going to be showcasing it today. He's got a beautiful rack, so we're going to have two racks. We're going to be kicking it back and forth to each other. We're going to have a really great time. I'm going to check the comments in just a second here. But I also got the JOEL SAAVEDRA in the house today. JOEL SAAVEDRA, the artist for our upcoming book, Warline. Start paying attention to this book, folks. Warline, I call it as I see it, is going to be the big book of 2021. Mark my words. This is the book that I've been spending all year preparing for. I found the perfect artist for it. He's somebody I've been collaborating with for a very long time. He's working on new stuff for it. And right now, at this very moment, you get down on the ground level with me on this show, and you're going to see us develop these characters as we develop the story. And we've got a brand new character we're about to introduce today. And if you were paying attention to what I did with the promo of the show, I mentioned that this character has already appeared in a comic book. Whoa! He's already appeared in a comic book, even though this is a new comic book series. And I never did a superhero comic, or did I? We'll find out right now. So sit back, get ready to pull up your keyboards, hear what we have to say, and then we're going to buy comics. But first, I'd like to bring our guests on here. Timmy, Joel, how are you guys doing today?
Excellent. How you doing?
You guys
Hi, everyone.
You guys all recognize Joel? All right, so here's what I'm going to talk about first real quick with everybody. So the character that we're going to introduce today in Warline is actually the bad guy, and his name is Scavenger. And I'm going to tell you guys all about it, but the idea of this character is sort of what started the whole process for Warline to begin with. So when I first got into comics, I made my very first book, and this came out in 2005. And this is the only copy of this book that exists. I could not find a single other copy of this book. I looked everywhere in my warehouse. I looked everywhere at home. This is the only copy of this book that exists. It has the darkest cover, but it's my first comic, and I'm really proud of it. And it was done in black and white ink wash. It was a story about a superhero named the Raven, who was heavily based on me as a person. But it didn't feel like the right story. After I did the first issue, something didn't feel right to me. And eventually what ended up happening was I discovered Yusum Shin, and I started like really diving into that because I felt like the story had much more potential and I could really focus on it. So eventually what I did was I just dropped the Raven completely. Well, once COVID hit, I had no choice but to actually start thinking about doing a new comic, because you can't just rest on your laurels. You know, at some point you have to put something else new out into the world. And I was trying to do that for the last 2 years, and I was just, throwing darts at the wall, and nothing was sticking. And then one day I decided to do something with the Raven, and this was, something I wanted to go back and fix. Well, this character technically can't exist because there's a DC character with the exact same name, so I couldn't name the character the Raven. And I didn't like the idea of just having another superhero when we have so many superheroes out there. So I thought about it, and I'm like, why don't I make him the bad guy? Why don't I totally switch it up and make it really cool? And Joel is going to show us his renderings of the character, of our version of the character, which is totally different than what I did here. This is just kind of like the inspiration and giving you guys a sense of what was behind, what went into this. And as far as this book goes, it's not for sale, at least not right now. I might auction this off at some point, but it is the only copy in existence. It is the only copy that will ever exist. It is signed by me. I don't know what to do with it. You guys let me know. Let's check on the comments here. Let's see what's going on. Mike, how you doing, my brother? Charles, good to see you, man. It's been a while. All you guys are cool. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in today. That means so much to me. So, without further ado, let's bring Joel in and let's see what he's working on. And just so you guys know, this is what's up right now. Our Warline sketches have been flying off of my table, and I am down to a very, very limited stock of them now. And just so you guys know, anytime you purchase anything on easonchin.com or purchase anything on the live shopping show, you guys get that Warline sketch for free. That's going to go for something eventually because there's only 40 of them. This is the original rendering of the character. He has already changed dramatically since we printed up that sketch. And the same thing is going to be said about Scavenger here. And Joel's gonna tell us a little bit right now about what he's got in mind for redesigning this character. So Joel, take it away. What are you working on over here?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here another week. For
not like you
all
had
the
a
audience.
You didn't have a choice. I just told you you're on the show.
You're right. You're right. You're right. What's interesting about this that I know you for more than a decade, and I didn't knew about your comic. You just showed us. I didn't knew about the Raven until we started to work on this new character. Well, Scavenger is the main villain of the story. What we're trying to do with the character is to have he will have a sort of a helmet or a mask that resembles a raven, as you said before, but with a twist. It's a little bit tricky or more sci-fi. So I will work with all these descriptions and have you a render for the end of the show, maybe.
That would be excellent. And you know what? I want you to take your time with this, Joel, because that's something that's really important for me, is that we get this right, because we want to give our audience something that's worth having. We're going to reprint, or we're not going to reprint. We're going to print up another 40 copies of these for you folks. And this is what you're seeing happen here. You're seeing the actual story unfold. You're getting it all at the ground level. This is the time to be paying attention to what we got going on with Warline. And I'm giving you guys some really cool incentives today to buy with Hunter Killer Collectibles, and as well as Eastern Chin, because if you purchase anything through us, that's when you get that stuff. And it could be, we're going to be cycling through a lot more inventory. I just got off the phone with a couple retailers from around the area, and they're going to let me take off some of their inventory from them and sell it on the show. And it's going to be the start of a great and hopefully very prosperous relationship, because I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in 2020 is that we all need to stick together and we all need to help each other, just like the retailers have on CBSN. They all welcome me. They're all coaching me. They're all helping me out. So, and as well as my local dealers, people from outside of CBSN as well are really seeing that I'm taking the collectibles business very seriously. I'm very passionate about all kinds of comics. I want this industry to grow, and this is something that I'm going to be able to do. And you guys are going to help me in the process. You're going to help Joel as we develop these characters. Now, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about Mr. Scavenger here. Just to kind of give you a little backstory. It's like one thing to just say, okay, here's the bad guy, but what is it about this guy? So remember, I told you guys before that in the War Lion story, the city that the story takes place in has decided to put an expiration date on the populace due to overpopulation, due to limited resources and things like that. So people now have a expiration date, and you are not allowed to live past the age of 50. And if you are caught living past the age of 50, you are executed. In fact, Scavenger has deployed superheroes that exist in the city, and he has totally messed with them. He's like totally like restructured them and made them evil and all this kind of stuff. And they're all they all used to be kind of like natural superheroes, but now they're all like tech-based and reprogrammed to do his bidding. And what these guys do is they're no longer superheroes. They're claiming that they're superheroes, kind of like what we see in The Boys, but they have their own agenda, which is to just the population. They say that they're there to serve and protect, but they're not there to do that. They're there to just wipe people out who get in the way, that kind of a thing. And it's really brutal. And Scavenger himself, he actually owns the city. He legitimately bought the city from the state. And so why does this work? Because it's my own world. Maybe it doesn't work in reality, but in this reality it does. So he owns this city and he gets to make the rules. And he's an evil SOB. He really does a lot of damage to War Lion in the beginning of the story. And there's a connection between these two characters that is very personal and very emotional as well. So they're related in some ways, but it's I don't want to give away too much because if I do, I'm worried I might drop it, and then Joel's gonna he's gonna send me something.
Stop there.
Yourself with. He's gonna send me a blunt object and say, "Hit yourself with this." All the way from Argentina. Joel, anything else you want to add, or Timmy, anything you guys, feel free to jump in here. Well, I guess we have no commentary from either of you guys.
No,
that's all. All right.
No, I think I will let the drawing speak for itself. As you can see now, I pretty much set the initial shape of the character. Here's the helmet I was speaking before. The character will wear some kind of old suit with the dress on the
yeah, it's like spread out like a dress at the bottom, and we purposely did that more like
Exactly.
kind of like what really inspired me for this was I saw this actor at the Oscars, and he was wearing like a suit that was like a dress too, and I think it just works really well to kind of have him blown up like that, to like look more like a raven. And there's a reason why he looks like that, and why his name is the Scavenger, and what his persona really implies. And it is a very, for me personally, it has a lot of significance, and I have a feeling that once we develop this, it'll resonate more with you too, Joel, because like that's part of the magic of comics, is how we allow things to just kind of like be out there. And now this is your rendering of it. Of course, we still have to get Dak's approval on everything, and as soon as he sees this, he's gonna tell us what we need to do to make it work even better. And Joel and I are prepared to put the time in, because we want to make good comics, and we need someone with experience to guide us along the way. And who better than David Anthony Kraft himself, the legendary David Anthony Kraft.
The man.
Yes, the man. He's chopping down trees right now, folks. And once he's done chopping down trees, I will find a way to get him on the show, and he will come on here, and he will he'll put both Joel and I in perspective on air for you guys to see. It's going to be amazing. So be sure to stick around for that. But let's get to what we're really here to do, and that is to sell some comics. So without further ado, we got Mike here. He's saying the artist wants to let the art speak and the writer wants to speak of the story. Kind of how I would like things. Yeah, that's true. Kind of how you'd like things to be. I agree with you, Mike. That is how things should be. You know, it's a collaboration. This is a team effort, and the idea for me has always been, and Joel has been on Yisum Shin with us since the beginning. But my philosophy about making comics has always been to try and get everybody on the team to work as one, because that's when the best comics come together, when we all are in communication with one another. And Joel and I, we talk about these characters intricately. We have conversations on Facebook. We chat with each other online more, which is really helpful and useful. And it's really cool because it gives Joel the opportunity to really nail what I want to do, but at the same time bring his own perspective into it as well. Like we were discussing colors already. And Joel, what do you have in mind for colors on this? Like, what is your thinking right now?
Well, what we talked before is we already did the rendering of the color rendering of War Lion, the drawing you could have the chance to see a few weeks ago. Well, for War Lion, we went on the warm side of the color palette. We used all warm colors. So my proposal for Onrie on this character was to use the opposite side of the palette to get that contrast between both of the characters.
I agree with that, and I think it's going to be really cool to see how we do that. Another thing I was thinking about, as you mentioned that, it'd be cool because we're actually coloring the War Lion sketch right now, and Joel added an ink wash to it this week. And guys, if you could see where this is right now, and Joel, I don't think we should show them. What do you think? Do you think they deserve it? Do you think we should show them?
I think we can show that. Yes.
Okay, here. Yeah. I'll make a deal with you folks. Check out the ticker at the bottom. Go to yisunshin.com right now. Buy anything on the website, anything, or call it as you see it on here when we're pitching right now. Next customer who buys anything off of our shop right now, as Timmy and I start to show you guys what's on our rack today, Joel will show you guys how much more War Lion has improved since we last touched him. And that sounded really strange and uncomfortable. But, Joel, I'm gonna have you in the back here for a little bit, and I'm gonna bring Timmy out here now. And Timmy, I'm gonna give you the solo layout. You take it away, man. What do you got on that rack today? It looks beautiful, man.
I've got quite a bit, Onrie. And first off, I want to say thank you very much for coming, for letting me be part of the show, be a part of the team. I think we're going to help each other out quite a bit in multiple avenues and arenas. I did have comments for Joel, and I'll say them when I go back to the drawing side of the house. Just didn't want to overstep on anybody, but I know it's a little
not at all, dude. You're part of the gang now, man. You know, it's totally cool. We love having some additional perspective, and I noticed that you drew your own covers as well, and you know you're really into that, and you've been collecting a long time, and you know that's a fantastic that's a fantastic thing that now you found a way to kind of like give back. So what do we got? What do we got for sale up here? What's going on?
Well, I've got a whole bunch of Marvel for you guys. So the other side of the house that I wanted to mention is by Kevin and Onrie bringing me onto their show. The good thing that I can offer that's a little bit opposite of them is that I'm much more into the modern comics. I go a lot into the legacy of ASM. Anything Spider-Man I'm a fan of, and I love all the girl characters. I'm loving that they're blowing up and giving them their own shows, movies, comics, everything like that. But I tend to go for all the newer stuff now just because I like the new modern reads. As you guys know, in the comic world, so many times new artists, new writers take the same character and do a very small twist to the main story. And as of lately and recently, there's tons of new material coming out with completely opposite, brand new storylines. And it's just blowing me away. Whether you are a Donny Cates fan or not, I know there's a whole 50-50 nation on that. You can't deny that his work with Ryan Stegman is just blowing up. And he's got just a way to captivate the audience in his writing, Donny Cates, that is. And Ryan Stegman's artwork is just absolutely killing it. So I've gotten on pretty much anything and everything that they've had to offer, from the Cosmic Ghost Rider to Silver Surfer Black to Venom, which is beyond hot. And the reason is just because he's gone a whole, like I was saying, whole nother avenue, whole nother channel, very, very dark. A lot more of like that Batman DC style, where it's a much darker story, and they're bringing characters in left and right that are just starting to blow up. Null is one of them. He's obviously the main villain for them, and I can see that going hot in the future.
Totally. Like that opens up so many doors for the Venom universe. You know,
Right.
like everybody is thinking like we got this Carnage movie that's going to be coming out, Venom versus Carnage. And
Yep.
after Carnage, where do you go from there? Noah is the obvious place to go. I completely
Yep.
agree with you. You and I have a very similar taste in comics, because I'm also a dedicated Spidey fan. So you and I are connecting on that front as well. But folks, just to kind of give you a sense of another role Timmy's going to be playing with for us is he's going to be handling a lot of our slabbing, a lot of our, a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing with CGC and CBCS in the future. So it is a pleasure to have him on the show, and he's going to be coming here regularly with me. We're still kind of figuring it all out, but he's going to be offering you stuff from his personal collection right now. And in time, we're going to acquire a new stuff. So Timmy's got a brand new stack of stuff here. So whenever you're ready, man, whenever you're ready to show us what you got going on, that would be awesome.
So the very first road that I've got to offer is the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And the reason I like this one, and the reason I picked it out of my general stack of Spider-Mans, is more so because it goes back to the older school, and it gives those kids the opportunity to get back in the comic world. It's not super kid-friendly. It's not super adult. It's right in between. And I've got the first 7, but actually it's only 1 through 5. I missed 6, and then I have 7. And then there's a variant of the first 1. So you got 1. That's variant 1.
Those are some beautiful covers.
They're absolutely beautiful.
Timmy, can you do us a favor? Can you crack open one of those books and show us the inside? Tell us who's working on this stuff. I'm sure you know, because you've read these books. You really love them. So tell us a little bit about what kinds of stories. Are these standalone stories in these comics?
For the Friendly Spider-Man, it is. It's going back to kind of like the more younger side of the house. So like, see how they've gone a much more route of almost independent. It's a very
I love it.
It's very back into the independent side of it's not looking like your normal Spider-Man at all. And I like this one, again, because it's not too dark, it's not too crazy, so it's a good read for just new kids to get onto Spider-Man. But I wasn't actually sure who did this one, because I was into so many Spider-Man. So the writer for this was Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor, are you guys? Oh my God, Tom Taylor did that. Guys,
Yep.
Let me just jump in here real quick. Tom Taylor is putting out some of the hottest comics right now. Last week, I pulled out 7 Secrets #1, which I got from Space Cadets. Jen King, the lovely Jen King, put aside a copy of it for me. Guys, let me tell you about this book, all right? Here's what I was thinking. It was late. I wanted to go to sleep, and I had this big stack of comics to go through, and I'm thinking 7 Secrets. I've never read anything Tom Taylor before, but this guy is blowing up on the internet. So I'm reading this book, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you one shot, Tom Taylor, and if you can't hook me with your one book, then you lost me. Guys, after I read 7 Secrets 1, I immediately hit up Jen, and I'm like, Jen, I need the rest. Get me everything, please. I need it now. 7 Secrets, it's a great book, and this is the guy that did Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We got the first 7 issues. We're missing issue 6.
Yep.
Timmy, what do you got on price, man?
I've got all those with the variants starting at $20. If you guys
So you got the variants?
grab it right now, I'll even drop it down to 15 if someone wants to grab it.
$15 for 7 comics. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it, guys. Just message us in the comments. Call that right now. Timmy, this I think would make an excellent birthday present for a young kid who is looking to get started in building their collection and have a good set of comics that could be worth something, because these are standalone stories. So I'm assuming there may be some new villains or new spin-offs introduced in these books.
That I don't know 100%. I didn't go into any villains from these ones, but that series continues. So yeah,
it's just fun Spider-Man stuff, guys. $15, you get 7 comics. Timmy's gonna take care of you guys. You get to see Warline if you call this book right now. That's all you got to do. Just call it as you see it. Timmy, keep going, my brother. What else you got?
So the next one I have is the new run of Wolverine, and I've got 1 through 5 on those. I believe they haven't even come out with 6 yet. So this one's kind of got really good artwork. Like I've told Kevin and Onrie before, my go-to is artwork first, because that's what I am. That's where my passion's at. And then when I start going through, then I start going for the reading afterwards. And if they both hit like fire, I pick them up because I want to be encapsulated by both the artwork and the reading.
I read that first issue of Wolverine. That's Benjamin Percy on writing, folks. This guy's blowing up right now. He's doing a lot of stuff for AWA, or A series for AWA. He's doing more stuff for Marvel. And I really like that first issue to me. I thought that I didn't read any further, but how does this arc? What's this arc? Can you kind of tell us what's going on in it?
So that one, it's going his own route of their villains. For this one, it didn't break in too much of an outside of a story from his normals, but it has his love interest all the time in there with Jean Grey, which I like that they brought that back. And when it's going with this cover that I like the best is that it's just got that 3D feel to it. If you can see, it goes high.
Love it. Yeah, I got that same book. It is so, guys, I'm telling you, I have the same book. I really love what Marvel did here. They did the same thing with their Spider-Woman relaunch. And yeah, that's some tight stuff there. Joel, we should do something with Warline like that, like one of those type of covers, maybe as a variant for people who are.
Yes, we should do a variant. Yes, like that. I love those kind of covers. Are very eye-catching.
I agree. Timmy, with your Wolverines, let's come back to that. Who is on artwork, and what do you got your bundle going for over there?
For the 5 that are in there, same deal, 20 on that one. The very first one was obviously hot and very big, so it was an $8 comic alone. But I'll do the same deal. If you guys get all 5 of them right now, we'll drop it down to 15 for that.
$15. Call it as you see it, guys. Call it as you see it. That is a sick deal. That's awesome, Timmy. I might take you up on this. Kevin Hines might even do it. And if Kevin Hines is listening right now, you're missed right now. We can't wait to have you on the show on Sunday. Maybe we'll do a 3-way and get the Triforce going. The trifecta going with you, me, and Kevin, Timmy. I think that would be really cool if we can work it out, of course.
So writer on that is Benjamin Percy. Adam Kubert is the artist, and the color artist is Frank Miller.
Adam Kubert, guys, the legendary Adam Kubert, who has contributed so much to comics, son of the legendary Joe Kubert. You can't go wrong with a series like that. And honestly, Wolverine, he's back. He's better than ever now. He's got flaming claws now.
Yep.
And, I agree with what you said, Timmy, earlier about, adding those little changes to the characters. You know what? People are going to knock it sometimes and whatever. They're just, you're not going to be able to please everybody with everything. But if you can make it work, I think it really comes down to the art team. Sometimes creators are tasked with difficult challenges of having to work within certain frames of mind that may not make sense to us, the general public, at first, but it might come out into something greater in the future. We never know. In fact, when Wolverine was first introduced, David Anthony Kraft, my cohort, edited that book, and he thought nothing would ever come of this character because he was just some small character that appeared in a Marvel comic. And look where Wolverine is today. You know, it's really not, it all depends on what happens. Now, if Wolverine stayed in the form that he did in Hulk 181, I think Dak would have made the right call. But it was what Chris Claremont saw in that character and how he really evolved it from there. That's what changed the character. That's what makes Wolverine hot today. You got new properties coming out soon now that the MCU has absorbed the X-Men property again where it rightfully belongs. I think the next time we see Wolverine on screen, it's going to be awesome. And you never know, maybe some of the stuff you see in Benjamin Percy's work here might be included at some point in the book. Are any new villains in there, or is it all old school stuff?
That one's still old school on that. And the other one that I have to offer, which I didn't read, so I'll be honest with that one. I didn't touch these guys, but they were hot, and they still are hot. It's The Death of Wolverine. It's a foil variant on every single one of these guys. So I got them specifically just because of the foil finish on them. They were going at the time anywhere between $60 and $80, not even a year ago. I was going to ask for 10 on each of those, so for 40.
We actually sold a set of those at 40 last year, and you know, I read Death of Wolverine. I read the whole arc because Wolverine is my second favorite Marvel superhero, and it is written by Charles Soule. Timmy, tell me who did the artwork on those Death of Wolverine books?
This one.
And sorry, I should you deserve the spotlight here. Yeah, Kevin. Yes, we have sold those Death of Wolverines before. Guys, call it as you see it. Death of Wolverine number 1 through 4 for $40. That is a sick deal. Who worked on that, Timmy? Charles writing.
So cover art was Steve McNeven.
Yeah.
Justin Posner, and Justin was also the colorist, and the inkist was Jay Linston, and Charles Soule was the writer.
Okay, that's Steve McNiven. Okay, guys. Old Man Logan, one of my favorite Marvel arcs of all time. This is the guy who illustrates Death of Wolverine. You got Charles Soule, who is a full-time lawyer and was at one point writing like 700 books for Marvel and DC, putting out his own independent book as well, and pursuing a career as a professional musician. This guy does it all. I don't think there's another person who works harder in this world, and he put that book together with the legendary Steve McNiven, who did Civil War, Old Man Logan, all kinds of great stuff. Phenomenal art in these books.
And just for an extra added bonus in here, at the time when I picked them up, everybody's either a major Scotty Young fan or not, but it comes with a print there as well on the back.
Man, Scotty Young, legendary.
Yep.
He puts out some really, really lovely covers and books. You know, guys, Scotty Young doesn't need any pimping from me, I'll tell you that much.
The next thing that I have is a trade of Rogue and Gambit. Outside of you know, Peter Parker and his 3 love interests throughout, and depending on when you read it, the next set that I always go to is Rogue and Gambit. They just have a fire relationship, and they're awesome together in every book. This is the newer stuff, so it comes off the Mr. and Mrs. Series, and it's way more set for the female side of the house because it is more geared to that romance style. But like I said, I'll never pass up on our Gambit and Rogue. I've got this is 1 through 5. And for this trade, I'll do just $5 on it.
$5 trades, guys. $5 trades. Call it as you see it. Rogue and Gambit. Call it as you see it. Timmy, is it all right if I start showing stuff on my rack, or did you want to go for one more? It's up to you.
Go for it.
Kick it over to me now. All right. Excellent. All right, folks. What do I got on my rack today? Awesomeness is what I got on my rack today. That's what. Hold on a second. Let me just flip this up here. One thing I did not consider, because I wanted you guys to see the whole rack. There we go. All right, check it out. First person who buys anything from the rack right now gets to see the new and improved War line, the ink washes that JOEL SAAVEDRA worked on it. All you got to do is just buy something from this rack right here, okay? Or from Timmy. Anything that Timmy had talked about just now, that's the stuff. All you got to do is just buy one thing and you see it. All right. So what do I got on here? I got some exclusives. So I'm going to start off at the top here. I just pulled this out of nowhere. I got this Batman encyclopedia right here. It's a hardcover book, and it very accurately details Batman's history in the comics. Sorry. Someone was calling me, and I didn't put the thing on. Hang on, I'm coming back, folks. Thank goodness for the fact that I'm doing all of this on the laptop. I'm really sorry. I need just 1 second here. Timmy, I'm going to kick it back to you. You just show people stuff in the meantime.
All
right.
So on my side of the house again, I've got a bunch more trades. I've got Rocket and Groot just for $5. It's part of the Civil War #2 series, not the original Civil War, because that was just its own branch off and then broke off to a whole bunch more when it went to 2. That one's just $5. Exterminations I did not get to read, but I know it was a very hot book. My local comic shop got me to get the trade of it, and I still want to read it, but at the same time, if somebody else has a major passion for this, I know it's fire. Everybody's been asking for that run. I believe it was only the 5 series, only the 5 volumes, and this does have all 5 of those. This was a $18 book, not opened at all, so I'll do this at 10 if anybody wants Exterminations.
All right, cool. All right, I am back now, folks. Sorry about that. Kevin, thank you very much. Appreciate you checking in on me. So going back to what I was telling you guys about, this Batman hardcover encyclopedia, check this out. It is a beautiful hardbound book. It details the history of Batman. So what I did was, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of how my rack is going to differ from Timmy. What Timmy and I did before we got on the show today is we both looked at our racks, and I noticed that Timmy had a lot of Marvel stuff, so I wanted to contrast that. And I should have told you guys that before I started showing off stuff, but I'm just so excited to share all these great comics with you. So I just jumped into it. But that's how we're going to work off of each other today. And like I said, I have exclusives. But my rack is more DC focused today, and Kevin and I we're gonna be coming up with different stuff every night. We just throw random stuff at each other, and as we start getting more inventory, we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna just keep cycling it through and figuring stuff out. Now, Mike, if you are watching the show right now, I sent you a message yesterday because you had sent me some requests of things that you were looking for, and I promise you that when Timmy, Kevin, or I come across any of it, we will let you know. And we will showcase it right here on the show, and you can call it in to see it. I know that you've been watching, very dedicated with Trish, and I know Trish is working too. We appreciate you so very much. So without further ado, let me get back to selling this book right here, this Batman Encyclopedia. So it accurately goes through all Batman's history, but it doesn't just do that. It also has these profiles that I really like. So this one is I want to find a good one. There's friends and allies and stuff, and you get all this information on all the different characters in the Batman universe. And some of the bundles that Timmy was initially pushing that from his Spider-Man that's good for starting your collection. This is a great gift and a great thing to have your kids read right now while they're at home as a result of COVID, or if they're just you want to get them to read more. This is a great way to get kids into superheroes and just kind of learn the lore of it. That way they can jump into the comics at any point. They can start really opening up on their knowledge in order to become better collectors and know what kinds of issues that they should be seeking and things like that. This is a great thing to have. And Marvel put out a bunch of these too. I forgot who published this. It's DK. I don't know what DK Publishing what the D in the K stands for, but it's DK Publishing. This is the book implies, and they put out a whole bunch of these kind of books. They did a Spider-Man one, they did a Hulk one, they did all kinds of them, and they're really cool. And I just found this one. It was purchased in Midtown Comics, and in terms of its condition, it's a brand new book pretty much. And the MSRP on this is $25, guys. Check it out. This is what I'm doing right now, only here on Kicking It with Onrie. I'm doing it for $15. $15. Call it as you see it. I'll put it right back up here. Hang on, I just want to check the comments here. Mike, I read your messages. We'll write back, but a little behind in the stuff today, so jump on to the new show. Wanted to see the war line going. Cool, awesome. Well, since you want to see him, let's show him. This is what we got so far, Mike, and we'll show you more once we get it.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in, my brother. Oh, Joel, I like what you did with what you're doing with the helmet now. I see what you did with that pocket thing on there.
Thank you, man. Yes.
Well, we can stare at Joel's work all day long, but we got to sell comics. We got to get comics in your hands, folks. That's what we're here to do. And we ain't leaving until we get the job done. Call it as you see it, and I'll put it aside for you, all right? Now, what do I got next? I got Nightfall. This is a trade. It's called Free Fall. It does not have a number on it, but it has some wonderful contributors to it. It has Peter J. Tomasi on writing. It has Rags Morales, my man Don Kramer, excellent Korean artist. He did a ton of JSA stuff, and he's just a swell guy. I've gotten the chance to get to know him a little bit over the years, and really wonderful guy. And Michael Bear, I don't know what Michael did. Let's see what Michael Bear did. It looks like he was an inker on this, so they credited these guys. Let's take a look at some of the artwork here. Some traditional, outstanding Nightwing comic artwork here, guys. Check it out. All right, now check it out, guys. $17.99, $18 on this book, okay? Today, right now, at this very moment, $5. Call it as you see it. Nightwing Free Fall. I'm gonna put it back up here. Timmy, let me do two more, and I'm kicking it back to you, my brother.
Sounds good.
All right. Next up, you guys saw me bust this out before. I got Superman Birthright, number 1 through 12. This is an outstanding series, one of my favorite Superman stories of all time. This is from my personal collection. Why am I giving this to you? I don't know why. I'm crazy. I'm absolutely out of my mind. I got Mark Waid on writing here, Lionel Francis Yu on artwork. This is one of the best Superman stories ever told. If they just made a movie based on this comic, it would do so much better than anything else the DCU has put out there. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. That's my opinion. But you can buy these books, read them, and judge for yourself. Now, here's what I got for them, all right? Check it out, folks. I got 1 through 12. Before, I was doing this whole bundle for $40. $20 on 12 great comics. $20. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it. Crazy. I don't even know how I'm doing it. All right. I got one more, and then I'm kicking it back to you, Tim. Guys, check out this hardcover right here. Okay. This is a very interesting story. It is not what the cover implies, but the story beyond that implies. So this is called Dark Knight, and the night is spelled differently. It's not K-N-I-G-H-T, it is N-I-G-H-T. And it is a story by Paul Dini, and it is illustrated by Eduardo Rizzo. I have read this book. Story of Paul Dini's life during his period of working on Batman and the effects that it had on him. There was a point in his life where he was beaten, and he survived this beating, and it was pretty bad. So that's actually him on the cover here. There's Joker and there's Batman. This is a really interesting take on the guy who brought Batman the animated series and made it what it is. And that show is phenomenal. I don't think there's ever been anything like it since. With the Batman animated shows. And this guy is one of the biggest contributors. Not only that, he wrote comics as well. He's done a ton of Batman comics. He's written the storylines to all the Arkham games, if you play them on PS3 and PS4. That's the guy who's behind all this.
and he's sharing his personal story with us of what it was like actually working on these characters. And he brought an incredible artist to it, Eduardo Rizzo, who illustrated 100 bullets. And just look at this, guys. This is some really good stuff. I read through this in like one sitting. It was really fascinating. It's got a dust jacket on it. It's a little bit damaged, but this is what I'm going to offer you guys. I don't even have an MSRP on this, but I'm going to assume from memory that you probably bought this book for about $27.99. And plus tax, this is usually about a $32 book. You're going to get right now for $15. Call it as you see it. $15. I'll include the dust jacket. Like I said, it's a little bent up. You can try pressing it, and that might help it out a little bit, but I don't know if that would work because it looks like the cover, the dust jacket might be a little too matted, and it might do some, I don't know. I'm not really Kevin's a pressing expert, so he could answer that for us. But Kevin, if you're watching, let us know too. But $15 on this. All right, guys, $15. Paul, did you see it? It was at my 4. That was my 4. I pitched for it. Timmy, I'm kicking it back to you, my brother.
All right, sounds good. So I've got 4 of the trades already brought down from the rack. Along with that, one of the CGCs that I have today is just an earlier ASM. It's from July 1977. It's got Morbius appearance in there. I want to say that's his 4th or 5th appearance. It's not. It's definitely not his first. But everybody knows he's getting hot because he just got his own. I believe it was show. It wasn't a movie. Or he's getting the movie. Sorry, he's getting the movie, and he's just blowing up. 1 and 2, hard as heck to get. I've grabbed this just because it's a great looking cover, but also primarily because he's coming out in the movie and his stuff is going to go up. I'm only starting this at what it costs you guys, a normal guy, to go to CGC to even get it done. It's $15 to ship, $15 back, and $15 for them to put it in. So we'll put this at $45 just to be CGC. So we'll start that at $45 and see if we have any takers, and we'll start running it as an auction after that.
And guys, what we're gonna do, we're finishing up our website, and Joel, let's check back with you for a minute. So we got our website up and running. You and I need to have a conversation about that.
That's right.
What you guys are going to see after that is you're gonna see that you'll be able to place your bids on auction items through our website, and you'll also have access to check out some of our other graded materials that we'll list on the site, and anything else that we can get up there. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's excellent. So, Timmy, what's your starting bid on that book again?
So just $45, which is basically what it costs just to get CGC.
Okay, great. So $45, and that's covering those CGC costs. Guys, that's a pretty expensive thing. Make your bids right now. I'm gonna change the ticker here, so you guys know where to send them to. Timmy, keep going, man.
All right. So
next round. Sorry. What was the title of that book again?
That's ASM. That's Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 8.
Number 8, and that's a 6.0.
Yes.
PGC.
Yep.
Okay.
CGC.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so going back to the trades, I've got 2 that kind of almost go hand in hand, just like Wolverine and Sabretooth. You can't go wrong with Hulk and Weapon H. Both of them are just monsters, and they're fun read. The Immortal Hulk is the new read that's going out. It started, I want to say, in late 2018, maybe early 19. But these books just blew up, absolutely blew up. The first 6 are almost impossible to find. So this is the first 1 through 5 trade. That was a $16 book at the time. I'm giving it to you guys for $5. $5. Anyone that wants that.
Dude, no way. Don't. We can't sell that for that little. No, I'm serious. That is, guys. That's a $60 book right there. I kid you not. Kevin and I sold that book for $60. $5? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy. All right, keep going, Timmy.
That's what you give me at the moment, right? I'm trying to show you guys what I have, and I want to get you guys just like Onrie and Kevin do. I want to win your guys' business, and I'm going to be fair. And they were my reads. I love them. I'm not going to go ham and go.
You're not being fair, dude. What you're doing is you're letting people take advantage of you, Timmy, and we need to teach you how to defend yourself. This is why you need to take karate lessons, and Kevin's going to teach you karate. He's going to teach you the ancient art of Joe Sundell.
And then, like I said, going piggybacking off that Weapon H. Again, the artwork in there was just really, really nice to look at and good read. I will be honest 100% with this one, and I always will be with anything. Comic Shop gave me this at a steal because when they opened the box, when they put them in the box cutter got right here. So it's specifically for reading. Don't get this for straight up value. Get this for a good read. Same thing. I'll do $5 on him.
That's a good deal.
Spider-Woman's the next one that I have, and this goes back to the Gambit and Rogue. Good read. I won't not touch anything Spider-Man. So I wanted it. It is much more geared to the female side of the house. Yes, Spider-Woman has a baby somewhere down the line in the Spider series, and it's in this too. So it's just funny every once in a while to see her kicking butt, and then she's holding her kid right when she's going into action or right when Mr. Sandman is coming in. So it's just a really, really fun read. And again, artwork. I just love the artwork in this.
Is that Carla Pacheco's run right there?
This was Javier Rodriguez for penciling. This was, I don't think it was Pachinko on this one at all. Rachel Rosenberg for the colorist.
On writing, I'm sorry.
Writing. They actually don't have it right there where it usually is. Editor, assistant editor. Dennis Hopeless.
Oh, Dennis Hopeless. Okay.
Cool. So that one's just a good read, real fun. So that's $5 as well on that one.
Yeah, you guys are getting hopeless action on that book, guys. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it.
And then the last one that I have before kicking it back to you, Onrie, is The Hobgoblin Lives. It's a trade. I loved it just because Hobgoblin, I actually prefer him even over Green Goblin. Just he's got so much more of that Halloween-esque, dark, fearful look to him, where Hobgoblin, I didn't like him until actually the Spider-Verse. When they put him in the Spider-Verse into Miles Morales' movie, I loved it. I loved that he was ginormous and actually just a monster. That was a really cool version of him. This one, again, is also just for read. It's crinkled up here, and it hasn't done it, but because of its age, it's going to start pulling from the bind inside of there. So just the glue that's slowly coming off. But again, classic artwork on that.
Who worked on that book?
That one was Roger Stern, Ron Friends, and that was for writing and penciling, and then the inker for that was Scott Hanna and Bob McLeod.
Legends in the field, guys.
So for that one, $5.
$5 on that. Call it as you see it.
All right, now I'll kick it back to you.
All right, well, let's see what comments we got here. We got a comment from Kevin. $40. What do you need $30 for? Oh, that's a funny joke. I'll tell it to you guys sometime. Actually, I could just tell it to you right now. There's a kid who walks up to his father, and he says, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow $50?" And his dad looks at him, and he says, $40? What do you need $30 for? So there you go. His dad's trying to get him not have to pay for stuff. Now, one thing I promised you guys I would do on the show is I crack open some new books that I got from Mr. Jesse James Comics. Jesse James is one of the top guys at CBSN. He's a very knowledgeable and very awesome retailer, and I highly recommend you guys check out his show. He is on CBSN quite frequently. And I just bought some stuff from him, and I'm unboxing it for the first time for you guys. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I bought and why, and we're going to go from there. And Jesse's got some great prices, guys. So, the books that I bought from him, these are books that I'm actually probably going to get slabbed at some point, and I'm going to let Timmy decide what he thinks we should do with that, because I have a hunch about this stuff. And guys, Jesse doesn't mess around. When he ships you books, he makes sure that these are packaged up pretty well. And I love getting these kinds of packages. This is the greatest thing. That's what being in comics is all about. I'm telling you guys, being a dealer, it is almost as fun as creating the comics themselves, because I get to show you guys all the cool stuff. We get to have fun together. You guys write me. You guys tell me, $40, what do you need $30 for? And that's how we do it here. You tell both me and Timmy, $20, what do you need $10 for? All right, this is really hard to open up. Hang on a second. You guys can see me I'm almost through it. Opening stuff up. It's always a wonderful thing. Look at this. This is like one of those Russian dolls. You got to like open it up like multiple times, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. And once you open up this box, there's going to be one comic inside. That's a pretty cool thing. Those Russian dolls. Who knows? Maybe we'll sell them at some point. What do you think, Kevin? Man, Jesse, not messing around. Look at all these layers, guys. And I placed this order on Tuesday. That's how quickly I did it. Tuesday, and Jesse got it to me in less than 2 days. That is service, with the smile right here, guys. I really love it. Jesse, if you're listening or if you watch this at a later point, thank you so much. Appreciate everything. These comics seem to have arrived in perfect, pristine condition. Okay, we can't buy stuff at conventions. Conventions aren't around right now, but you know what? As long as you're dealing with retailers on the CBSN, myself included, you're always going to have these books in really good shape. So what did I pick up? I picked up the first appearance of the Red Goblin. This is Norman Osborn taking over Cletus Cassidy's Carnage symbiote and merging with the Green Goblin to form the Red Goblin. And I have a good feeling about this. What do you think, Tim?
Can you kick it over to me for 5 seconds?
I can kick it over to you for 5 seconds. Take it away. You can have 10 seconds. You can have as much damn time as you need.
This is what I think about him.
Okay, there you go, guys.
Right on par. You got him right on par. So this is the first full appearance of Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin, and like Onrie says, you know it, I know it. Slab them, keep them good, keep them healthy. They're gonna go up. That was a hot run. I want to say that was a 8 or 10 part series for that whole run, and then this is the first appearance of Osborn as Carnage before he became the Red Goblin. So both of those books and that run in general, both a good read, and they're gonna go. I can see him getting put into one of the movies somewhere down the line for sure. I mean, now that Marvel and Disney's got them, all those comics are just going to keep going up for sure. They're going to start showing up in a lot of stuff.
I agree 100%, man. I think everything that's going on in comics right now and entertainment is really fantastic. And here's something I want to share with you guys. I remember I was at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years ago, and I was taking my red-eye flight from San Diego back to Chicago. And who shows up at the airport? Well, a whole bunch of people. You had NFL legend Israel Idoniji. He hangs out there because he's really heavily invested in comics. And then you got Mike Norton, and you got Tim Seeley. And all these guys are hanging out. We're all flying back home because we're from Chicago. And so I started talking with Tim while I was at the airport. And I said, so what do you think about the fact that Jeff Johns is now, heading off the DCU, production line and all that stuff? And he said, I think it's great. Whenever you get a comic book writer working on a film script, it's good for everybody, because now everybody says, oh, look, these comic book guys can do other things too. And so I think the same thing goes for what you guys see in our collection. Yeah, we're going to try and peddle as much creator-owned stuff as we can here, because I'm a firm believer in it. Being a creator-owned person myself, I'm all for those properties, and I do believe that that's where you're going to see a lot of collectability in the future. It hasn't been taken very seriously, but now's the time where that's going to change, because a lot of these artists, they understand now how to run their shops. They know how to do this kind of stuff, and they're already auctioning off their books for insane amounts of money. Phantom Star Killer, which just came out by Scout, is blowing up. Guys, this is the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Jump on that book if you haven't already. We got a couple copies of it. We're getting them slabbed. and we have a lot of faith in it. This is a great time to be in comics. This is the time to start your collection. And one other thing I got here, this is for my own personal reading, is Replica. This is a Aftershock book. It's put out by my man, Paul Jenkins. I'm writing, and it's not for sale yet. Neither are these books. I'm going to figure out what to do with them later, but I just wanted to give one last shout out to my man, Jesse. Thank you very much for getting me these books on time and in pristine condition. Let's move up back to the rack here and see what we got here. All right, now I'm going into exclusives from Pete Hurst's collection at North Shore Comics. Let me just pull up his business card so you guys can see it right here. If you are ever in town in Northbrook, Illinois, be sure to visit North Shore Comics. Give him a like. Pete Hurst, he's an excellent dealer, and he's a very good friend of mine. And if you're in town, let us both know, and you know, who knows, we'll make something of it. So what do I got here? I got some books that Pete allowed me to put on display here for you guys. And I got these Venom number 27 variants. And this is just my exclusives here. Pete's got 6 prices on this, folks. $6 on this one. This is the first printing. $6 on it. Call it as you see it. And then we got the Stegman cover. You know, Tim already told you what he thinks about Ryan Stegman. I have actually had the opportunity to meet Ryan Stegman on multiple occasions. One of the nicest guys in the field. Got a really good sense of humor, and he's an outstanding artist. And he's doing Venom, and he's been working in Spider-Man for a long time. Aside from, I would actually prefer him to some of the other recent artists. I really like him and Marcos Martin. I like him a lot too. Dale Bush at Challengers Comics put me on to him. And Stegman cover, $10 on this bad boy. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it. We'll check the comments here in just a second. Let me just go through all this. We got Tales of Suspense, number 80. Iron Man and Captain America teaming up to fight the Red Skull. And he's got the Cosmic Cube here. This is a really, really beautiful book. Early Iron Man, Captain America. This looks like some Marvel Age stuff right here. It's in pretty good condition. I would just say it's good condition. This would probably come back at like a somewhere between a 5 and a 6, if I'm being honest. It's still well bounded. You got Stan Lee on script, Stan the Man on script. You got Gene Colan on pencils, and Gary Michaels on inks, and Artie Sinek on lettering. Artie is incredible lettering. And you got this book right here. Pete wants $35 for this bad boy. $35, call it as you see it. And make sure this is shipped to you guys. Guys, you want to see more line or what? Buy something already. What's going on here? All right, let's keep moving here. No, I'm just kidding. You guys have no pressure. I just like hanging out with you. Don't feel like you gotta buy something. I just really want you to see more line, you know? It'd be really sad if you didn't get to like do that, you know? Anyway.
I already have it prepared.
What's that?
I have it prepared. I already have it prepared.
Oh, you don't have it prepared?
Yes, Yes, I have it.
Oh,
I have it.
Prepared.
Let's buy something. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Joel's like, come on, throw some heat on me. What's going on here? All right, Joel, I'm working on it.
Buy something.
You can't do it all. You know, it's really hard. Maybe the Sisu Shin book will sell once I get to it. But first, let me tell you guys about Super Sons right here. Super Sons number 1. This is a variant cover done by Peter J. Tomasi, Bill Jimenez. Guys, check out some of this artwork and beautiful stuff right here. Okay. Pete's asking $10 on this. Call it as you see it. It's in great condition. I would say you would easily get back a 9.8 on this if you're lucky. And perfect for grading. I got Justice League of America number 1. This is part of the DC Rebirth. This is done by Steve Orlando, who has collaborated very recently with my
musician artist Giovanni Timpano on a story. I forgot what they did together. They did Batman and Shadow together for Dynamite. So they actually wrote a Batman story, put together a Batman story. And that was Giovanni's debut as a DC artist. Now he is doing variant covers for them in Italy. So check out this artwork right here. This is put up by Ivan Reese, written by Steve Orlando. This is in issue 1. This is a variant cover of DC Universe Rebirth #1, Justice League of America. And what's Pete got on this? Hang on just a second, folks. We got $15 on this bad boy. $15. This is sold out at the retail level. $15. Call it as you see it. One copy of it. $15. Call it as you see it. All right. Last thing, and then I'm kicking it back to Timmy. I got this really cool Green Lantern statue right here. Check it out, folks. It's the Green Lantern. He's holding his ring out. He's got the lantern, and it doesn't say much else. It says it was put out in 1999, and it comes in this box, which is bubble wrap. And the MSRP on this is $25. We're going to do it for a straight 20%. 20% off on this bad boy right here. This statue, this really beautiful Green Lantern statue, going for $20. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it. Timmy, I'm kicking it back to you, brother. I'm going to check some of these comments here. All right, Timmy, go for it.
All right, I'm ready. So the next trade that I have is also part of the Civil War II. Thanos with the Ultimates, and it goes into the whole story with him trying to obviously get the rings with Black Panther and Captain Marvel, all the same heroes that you've seen in the previous, with a couple new ones. Like I want to say Miss Marvel was in there with them too, or the daughter version. And going off of this I'm only going to do for $5 because it's just, again, a good read and hot with the whole movie being released and out, and everybody was on it at the beginning. But more importantly, off of that statement and going back to our original talk about how I'm on the newer stuff and I'm liking the newer storylines and where they're going. After that, the Infinity Wars came out, and they did a whole different take on it with the local shop. They took it from a Gamora standpoint, which I already love her to death, but they took it with her killing Thanos and then her going after the stones. So the very first one that we have is in Infinity Wars, the Fallen Guardian, which is obviously her, Gamora. Her name in the story is actually Requiem, and this is her as in the fight in the battle, and she ends up winning, basically getting all the stones and taking the Soul Stone. And what's really cool at the end, she tries to keep them all in check, keep them from coming back after her, and she wraps the whole universe into the Soul Stone. And by doing it, she accidentally double folds the universe. And this is where the story really gets good. So after they had this whole run, there's 5 or 6. There's 6 of the actual Infinity Wars story with Gamora as Requiem. And then this one's just Infinity. That's after that storyline. But they branched off, like I told you, from double wrapping that universe. And by doing so, they actually took the heroes and 2 of them became one. And so they did that for almost everybody. You had Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman together. You had the Thing becoming one with Torch. You had I loved Wolverine and Emma Frost came together as one. Spider-Man came together with Moon Knight and became Art Knight. Ghost Panther, which is obviously Ghost Rider and the Panther, got blended together.
I saw this before.
Iron Hammer, so obviously Iron Man and Thor. Captain America and Doctor Strange became Soldier Supreme. And this is the best one that I love. Weapon Helix. This is a crossover. This was my favorite just because of the character's look. That is Scarlet Witch blended with Weapon X-23.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
And
That's crazy.
And each of those stories had a double. So every one of the ones that I just showed you had 2 stories per character.
And it's just like a closed off thing. Like the whole story is done in those 2 issues.
For each of them, yes, for each of their storylines. So they branched off of the Infinity Wraps, which was 6, 7 if you count the prereq to it, where it's the Fallen Guardian. And then you've got 2 of each of these guys. It came out to 23 copies total. The other thing I want to tell you guys right off the bat, I don't really touch these. I'm a firm believer in collecting. I love to not touch them as much as I can. And Marvel hit it out of the park. DC tried, and it's still going back and forth with their digital copies. You'll see them sometimes in the book, sometimes not. Marvel, they keep it consistent every book. So from me, when you get any of my personal collections, it's open one time to get to that digital copy, and then it's never touched again. So the digital copy is redeemed, and primarily it's because they give you a year to redeem. So if you don't get the book out there, I've gotten so many from people that haven't even touched the book, and it's got the digital copy, but it's not redeemable. So from a CGC also standpoint, just so you guys know, I've done it to 4 of my comics, and all 4 of them came back as a 9.8. They don't care if that CGC code has come off of it. So from me, you're going to get a new mint plus out of every comic that I get. If it's got a ding, if it's got something, I'll definitely tell you about it. But for
Guys,
that,
that's really important. Thank you, Timmy, for letting us know this, because a lot of people take that for granted, and sometimes you get people who don't realize how important the collectability is. This is why we brought Timmy on board with what we're doing with Hunter Killer Collectibles, because he knows this stuff. He's been collecting his whole life, and he has a knowledge base that kind of picks up where mine leaves off, because unlike Timmy, I like to touch my books. I like to, read them multiple times, and, I learn from them. So a lot of stuff I have in my collection is stuff that has been read before. And if it hasn't been read before, we got it there too. And I always take really good care of my comics, but Timmy is someone who you could just look at him. He's very meticulous about what he's doing. He's very serious about it. And that's fantastic. Timmy, what else you got up there? What do you got in your hands here?
Well, and just to add to that, and that again, I get that from both realms. I love you and Kevin always wanting that touch of that comic, and I also see the other realm with the CGC community never wanting that to gain in value and stay hard. Between that, I actually started doing, and I'm liking that Marvel's really doing more of these, are the true believers. So what I've started to do is any of the ones that are and should be CGC'd, obviously get them CGC, because they're growing up like crazy, like this bad boy right here. But then I go back and I try looking for anybody that's got the true believers out there. Most comic shops are getting every of these stories, about 20 of them, and it's DC, Marvel, it's crossing, it's even Image, and they're selling them for $1 just so that you get the read. So that's how I do most of my comics if I get them. And if I can get them, and if I do sell you a CGC that has the readable version, you're getting both from me, just because that's how I like to do it. This one is obviously just an example, because this book is fire right now, and it's probably just one of my favorite covers in general out of that whole run.
And that's a high grade. That's a high grade on that book. It's that is totally legit CGC stuff here, guys. And you think we'll auction that off at some point? What do you think?
And here, yeah, if you want to see the wall, you mean?
Yeah, just whatever you want to put up there, man.
So I mean, like that's gonna be the wall.
Whoa! My head's exploding! Holy crap! That's a lot of books up there. Whoa!
Wow.
Well, there you go, folks. Hunter Killer Collectibles now has access to some really cool stuff. We got a lot of graded books here, and we're gonna have more as time goes on. Timmy, thank you for showing that. What else we got up on that rack, my friend?
In addition to that, I got a Gambit run that I didn't get to read. I got the 4 that you actually had on the other day, and I love that one. And from that, I got his Gambit external run. I have not gotten to read this run, but a lot of people like it. It's only a 4-part series, And I got it at 20 when I first got it. So for you guys, again, 15, maybe even 10. So make an offer if you really want it. I'm willing to make a deal with you guys because I'm here for you guys in the reading and to get you guys with.
Call it as you see it, folks. Call it as you see it. Kevin says, show the A-Fane. And Joseph, I did see your comments. How you doing, my man? You're saying, dude, what's up? I hope you're still listening. I hope everything's going well with you, my friend. So I'm sorry. What's Kevin talking about? What's A-Fane? Is he just not being literate again?
He's probably got all correct on there. I don't know.
A-Fane. Hey, you're an A-Fane. All right.
And just so you guys know, once we start getting more established, once we see that.
He said show that again. Whatever it was.
Again?
Yeah. Oh, the wall.
Oh, the wall. Let's see. Try to nicely turn you guys.
Show that again.
Show what?
Show that again.
So those are going to be, those are primarily, like you're seeing, those are primarily all of the earlier ASMs. I've got a few up here that are just really cool. Sorry.
And in the meantime, I'm just going to tell Kevin, $40. What do you need $30 for? Joseph Hardy, we got you on Gambit. So, Timmy, you saw Gambit books.
All right. Very cool.
Excellent. Thank you, Joseph.
So another thing, as you guys see this wall too, I've obviously set this up. A lot of my CGC Nation, the community that I'm already a part of on Facebook, loves and tries to find a new way to hang their stuff up and display it. If you guys can't tell, I'm sure you can. There's too much natural light in here. It's another killer that kills books. CGCs have a protector on the plastic, but it's not a UV ray. So don't get confused by that. The first thing everybody screamed at saying, oh my God, protect those books, already did. Just so you know, when you get them, if you get them from me, I'm giving you twofold things. I'm giving you clips that nicely put them up, nicely hang them up on your wall to display, and they all come with a resealable, reusable UV ray protected film right in between on the cover so that you guys can put it in a light environment and not worry about sun fading your books. Like Onrie says, everything I do, I take as much care as I can of these comics for you guys and for me, for everybody, because you want these down the road for your kids and your kids' kids. There are investments, and they're beautiful. They're all artworks. That's why they hang up the way they are. These are all beautiful artworks. Somebody put in their pride and joy and their time making these for us. The least we can do is not hide them. Just got to protect them the right way.
That's excellent, Timmy. Timmy, Joseph's asking how much should we say for that? Was it 15, 10? Will we meet him in the middle?
For you, for Joseph, and for the first sale, $10, bud. $10.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's how business is done, folks. That's how we do things on Kicking It with Onrie and Kevin and with Timmy. We're going to have to add your name to the title soon. Tim, I want to thank you for showing us and telling us how this all works because honestly, I'm so new to this, so I'm learning from you too as you're sharing this information. It's great to have somebody who understands this stuff and is going to help us really build our collection, and give us some really rich stuff. So thanks, man. I appreciate that tutorial you just gave.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Did you have anything else you wanted to show there?
Not really. I was just going to let you guys know in general, especially from what we're showing, you're going to get limited every day just because we don't have enough time. Make sure I was pinging and watching the comments last time. A lot of you guys were talking about some Robin stuff. I don't actually know if I went over that, and if not, let me touch on those real quick. This is just from the new 52 series. I got 2, Alpha and Omega, where Robin rises. So those are just really cool looking covers, really good reads from the 52 series. I know everyone loves those. And then I'll even throw in at the same time Robin, whole series of Robin, Son of Batman. There was 5, I believe, in there. So if the Robin fan is in the room, I don't know. We will throw all those in as well. So there's 5, 6, 7 there. I will do those for, say, $15.
$15 on those Robins, folks. Call it as you see it. Call it as you see it. Kevin, how you doing? Terrific. Excellent. You guys are what is great about the comic book community equals awesome. I agree with you, Mr. Joseph Hardy. Thank you for telling us that. Timmy, you mind kicking it back to me, my friend?
Not a problem. Go right ahead.
Excellent. And speaking of kicking, guys, I'm going to tell you some kicking deals we got going on. Every time you buy anything from us, and by the way, we now owe you a Warline sketch. Joel, are you with us, my friend? We sold something finally.
Excellent. Yes.
Here we go.
You want to see that art, right?
Go in the comment section right now. We will show you the new Warline. Let's go for it. Who wants to see this bad boy?
I do.
No, actually, I'm going to wait. You guys got to call it. Once you command me, that's when I show it. In the meantime, we're going to tell you what we got. Anytime you buy anything from us, you get a bookmark of Yusuf Shin for free. That comes with every single order purchase. You get a free Yusuf Shin bookmark. You order from me twice, you get another Yusuf Shin bookmark. Pass this around. This is how I get my book out, all right? This is how I get the word out. And aside from that, you also get the limited Warline sketch. These are selling like crazy. They come for free with every order, so they're not selling. They're going for free, and we're doing that on purpose. We're doing this because once this book comes out, it's going to blow up. I'm telling you guys, I got so many plans. I'm learning so much, not only from the dealer side, but also from the creative side too. I'm going to take all of my knowledge, and it's all going to go into this bad boy. It's going to go into future printings of all of my content. Okay, comics, just you guys wait. The best is yet to come. So these also come signed and numbered for free with any order, okay? Now, let me tell you about Yusuf Shin. If you're just watching this show for the first time right now and haven't heard about Yusuf Shin, I'm going to tell you what it's all about right now, okay? Yusuf Shin is about a Korean admiral that battled the Japanese in the 1500s. He was outnumbered 10-1, and he beat them 23 times in a row and never lost a single battle. This is all based on a true story. This is the comic that can't be defeated in battle. It has sold over 100,000 copies. I was at the forefront pushing the series. Kevin was with me as well. When we went to comic conventions, this book always sold out. It never took me this long to sell books, Yusuf Shin books. You put me on a convention floor, those books are going to move. So here's what I got going on. This is the reason why it sells. This is the reason why it will always sell. If you buy 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get all 4 of those comics for just $10. 4 comics for $10, and I'll sign them all for you. I also got the second arc of our series, Small and Avenger. This includes a trilogy of books, by the way. So there are 12 books total. As of right now, we got the first 9 available. If you decide you want to get all 9 books, it's $23. I sign every single book. This thing off $1 off the cover price of every single book. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Now, what else do I got? I got the trade right here. The Yusuf Shin trade features a forward by Stan Lee, and it's the first volume. So those 4 books I was telling you about that were $10, they're all collected in here, okay? And this hardcover bound book is beautiful. It has over 50 pages of bonus content, interviews with our creative team, director's cut material, and check out these spreads in the back, folks. That's another thing I wanted to tell you about. Even if you have Yusuf Shin stuff, I got even more new stuff to tell you about with Yusuf Shin because I went into the back. Should I say new or should I say old? Because Joel remembers working on this. Joel, is it new stuff we have or old stuff?
That's right.
It's old, right?
Yes.
Old school. Old school stuff. I'm going to bust it down in a minute. You guys will see. What were you going to say, Joel?
No. Go ahead. Okay, I didn't listen.
All right. So let me just cut to the chase here, folks. Normally, Yusuf Shin Warrior Defender, this hardcover goes for $25. Right now, I'm doing it for $20. 20% off that the cover price of a hardcover bound book, 176 pages. Can't go wrong with that. You can also tack on volume 2. You tack on volume 2, I take another 20% off. You're looking at 2 hardcover bound books, $40. I sign them both for you. I include a personalized message. It's a beautiful thing. Now, the second volume also has over 50 pages of additional content. And it's new stuff. So I write about the different experiences I have with my creative team. And Joel and I really slaved on this. We did the design on this stuff together. Joel went through like ridiculous amounts of edits on some of these pages, and you guys will hear all about it. We'll read all about it.
in the back of it. I'm really, really proud of this graphic novel. We have sold through so much of it, and here's an example of the page that shows it. That this took us forever to put together, and he had to go back and forth like 30 different drafts of it, and it's all in this book right here, folks. And this is what we're doing. $40 on both of these. Two more things to tell you about. I got Mark's Tale of Neglect. This is the story of my grandfather's life. Any of you who are fans of World War II stuff, my grandfather was a Russian Jewish soldier who fought the Nazis during World War II. I managed to learn his story. This is actually a picture of him right here, right there. And yeah, he's a hero. He went and he fought the Nazis, beat some Nazi butt. And there's a deal with that going on. $15 on this hardcover book. It's a standalone story. No sequels or prequels to Mark's. We're looking at $15. Call it as you see it. I got you on that. I also got this Tales from the Crypt story I worked on. I got, this is one of my first licensed, this is my first licensed book that I worked on. And $10 on the single issue. We also have it in hardcover and softcover. The softcover is going for 15 buckaroos. The hardcover 25. I only got a limited amount of stock on this stuff. I'm surprised it's not selling faster. This is a new Tales from the Crypt reboot. I told a very good story in there. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll relaunch Tales from the Crypt and they'll open up their desk and they'll come across this book and they'll see the story that David Anthony Kraft and I did together and they'll turn it into a TV show and it'll be awesome and they'll fly us out for the premiere, but not give us any credit. All kinds of fun stuff can happen. You never know. It's comics. That's why we're here. And we got this going right here. So that's what I got on the Yushin Chin front. Timmy, you want me to kick it back to you, or you want me to keep going?
And you can kick it back if you want to.
I'm gonna kick it back because it looks like we got some comments here, and I wanna hear what you all have to say. Timmy, I'm going back to you, my brother. Keep showing us some stuff.
All right. Joseph, I don't know if you're interested. I did talk about them a little bit earlier, but just a couple more Gambit and Rogue appearances. They're under the X-Men title, of course, but I just love that cover of them. I'm not sure if you're collecting the runs, if you're collecting it for specifically him. That one is a $5 book, but I'll do that for $2 for you.
Timmy, yes. Hang on just a second because I got some comments I want to just hold off. We'll pick up. So yep. Val, hi Onrie. I already have a set of Eastern Shin from Jen at Space Cadets. They are great books about Korean history. I love it when actual books are set in the comic medium. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Val. And also, I have Mark's and was very good. What a great honor to your grandfather. I got them from Jen also. I encourage all to read these books. So look at that, guys. We got fans here who are loving the stuff, and I got more stuff to tell you guys about creator-owned stuff. But I want to kick it back to Timmy. But before I do that, we already sold something, so we got to we got to show you the Warline thing. And Timmy, I'm sorry we're all over the place.
No, good.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Joel is ready. Are you guys ready? Are you
Yes.
ready? Let's do it. Okay.
Come on.
Warline. He has been improved now. What you guys are noticing in this sketch now is that Joel added ink washes to this. So there's more shading in the tone of the body. Another thing that you'll notice is that the belt is much looser now, and a lot of the detail has been improved dramatically. There is a colored version of this that is out there. It has not been edited yet by our faithful editor, David Anthony Kraft, who will help us really shape this up. It's going to look a lot better. Joel, you have done an amazing job so far on everything you have rendered for us with Warline. It is such an honor to be working with you on this book.
Thank you. Can't wait to share all we've been working.
Absolutely, man. All right, Timmy, I'm kicking it back to you, brother. Keep going.
No problem. And just going back to that comment or talking to Joel, I wanted to say, because I didn't say it from the beginning when you were first drawing, when we first had our call and talked to each other an hour before the show, we were just going over the drawing. I had no background knowledge. The moment that Onrie started really speaking up to that character, and from my perspective right away, I got that almost Grim Reaper style look and feel, along with the trench coat vibe and hiding in the shadows like that. he brought that to life in such character for me. And more importantly, when we were discussing the coloring aspects, I didn't know that you had the hero already in those brighter colors. So yes, the moment you talked about putting him in a darker tone, you always think of the Raven in the background, and whether it's a black sky, whether it's purples and blues and deeper colors to really pinpoint those villains and heroes. I think those contrasts that you want to bring to that sound amazing, and I can't wait to see the coloring once that starts kicking off.
Just wait until
Thank you
guys
very
see
much.
what David Anthony Kraft has to say about that. But Joel, go ahead. I just know what's up. we know what's waiting for us. but that's another thing. This is what I love so much about working with David Anthony Kraft, is that he really does see the bigger picture, and he's got such an extensive knowledge of comic book production because he's been doing it forever. And he has taught both Joel and I a lot, and me in particular, he's taught me everything. Because Yisung Shin would not be where it is right now if it wasn't for Dak. And the reason why I can get up here and tell you guys about it with so much passion and so much enthusiasm every single time is because I know what went into Yisung Shin. I did it, and I saw what work David Anthony Kraft and I have to do every single time we put a page together. And it's a lot of intensive work, and we always have to be paying attention. You can't come into comics doing things half-assed. So there has to be a time set aside when you can write. There has to be time set aside when you can draw and really focus on just that thing. And that's what we do best. We've put together this team mentality of putting all of our focus into the work. That's what you're getting with OK Comics every single time. And that's what you're going to get with Hunter Killer Collectibles too, because all comics are out there. Anything that has ever been published before, guys, there's something to learn from it, and there's something to be enjoyed about it, and that's what we do. We want to make comics something that everybody can get into, and we want to add to that, because we're not making comics something people can get to. Comics are already something we can get into. We just want to make them more accessible for you by sharing our excitement and letting you guys know why they're so great. Tim, let's go back to you for a second. It looks like Mr. Joseph Hardy, he called that Rogue Gambit title. So
okay.
That's sale. Thank you very much, Mr. Hardy. Thank you so much.
Just going back to that for him, this was the other one I was going to see if he wanted as well. It's again another X-Men, but it's Rogue and Gambit reunite. Awesome cover with them. So I've got those, and then I don't know how you feel about the Rogue and Gambit series currently. They've got a Mr. and Mrs. series, and it is geared more to the relationship as well as obviously fighting together, but it is geared a little more subtle and to the female population of the comic books. So we do have that trade of 1 through 5, I believe.
I think that's what we called. I think that's what he called.
I don't.
Or yes, he says yes, please on the second. Joseph, can you clarify with us? Are you calling for the trade or the single issues? Let us know. We'll set those aside for you.
Yes.
Just call it as you see it, and we got you covered on that front, my friend.
Yeah, so that's. I don't think he got to see this one because I didn't get to go too much into it. But again, it's got their relationship in there. It's a really good.
He wants the singles on that, Joseph.
No problem.
Joseph wants the singles on that.
No problem. And if he's like me and he wants reads versus the trades, I do have the same thing. This is this series, but it is missing a couple. It goes from 1 to 11, and it's missing 6 and 7. So 1 through 11 and 6 and 7 are missing, but that too is also just an awesome run with them. So just simply let me know. We have them.
What's the price we got on that?
Let's see. So there's 9 issues. Let's see.
He's
20
asking
bucks. 20 bucks on the 9 issues.
Okay. 20 bucks on the single issues, and the trade. How much is the trade?
$5 for the trade.
$5 for the trade. Joseph, let us know in the comments what you want. We'll set it aside for you. Timmy, you mind kicking it back to me?
Yep, go right ahead.
Cool. All right. Now, guys, check this out. If you think I get excited just talking about my own stuff, I got to tell you guys, I don't play like that. Honor doesn't roll like that anymore. Yes, I am excited about telling you about Yusuf Shin, and I do think you should be reading it. I think you should be reading more than just that. I think you should be reading everything that is being put out there today. There are some really great comics out there. I want to tell you about another creator-owned book. Okay. Now, this is put out by my man Ted Sikora, and let me just tell you guys. All right, if conventions were happening right now, and you put Ted Sikora out onto a convention floor, here's what would happen: his books would sell. They wouldn't be sitting on this rack. They would be gone right now. I'm telling you guys, I have been doing shows with him for some time now. His books are celebrated and loved by everybody who has picked them up. And the first series I want to tell you about, he sent me a special package. And I told Ted, I said, Ted, I want to sell your comics on my show. And he said, all right, cool. And I'm doing this because I believe you guys should be reading more creator-owned work. This stuff really does not get the same kind of credit that the mainstream stuff does. It doesn't get seen as much. Even some of the other publishers out there have a little bit more reach than we do, simply because of the fact that it takes us that much longer to generate content. And we're the guys who are basically putting the canon out there, so we're not releasing comics on a consistent basis. We're putting them out there as soon as we can get them done because we're really focused on making sure that everything turns out the way we want it. This is not like a machine where we can just keep pushing stuff out. Now, some of the other publishers, what they've done is like, Source Point or Fault or, Aftershock. They have multiple creators working on multiple titles. So they're putting out stuff consistently. It's a little bit different when you're doing with creator on, but this is the ground level stuff, and you never know what can happen. And I have a lot of faith in Ted Sikora. I think he's a great creator. I think he's done some wonderful comics. And let me tell you about Apama right here. Apama is the superhero star of Ted's comic right here, and he is a sort of like an homage and a nod to both Spider-Man and Taxi Driver. If you guys have ever seen that movie with Robert De Niro, it's a classic. So the way Ted is always, I'm just going to tell you, Apama, the Undiscovered Animal is the title of the book. He is the most inexplicable superhero of all time. I was witness to that line being put together, and it is a fantastic series. So if you're a fan of some of the older Spider-Man stuff, and you like, the stuff that was put out back in the day where you had these standalone stories that kind of formed a greater arc, this is a great series. So Apama is this ice cream truck driver and ice cream delivery guy or whatever it is. He's an ice cream driver. Ted would pitch this much better than I am right now. Sorry, Ted. We can't all be great like you. All right. But I'm doing the best that I can here. Ted, he just kills it at conventions. But I'm going to get better at pitching his book. Pretty soon I'm going to be selling these like I sell you some things. Guys, check out some of the site. Let that speak for the book itself. Right? This is, Ted puts a lot of effort into this. He's not only writing this book, he's also, doing the layouts, kind of like what Dak and I do on Yusuf Shin. We really, study the pages, and we really want to make sure that the spreads are talking to each other, that they're moving the story forward, and that they're doing what they're supposed to. So we got a deal right now. The first 5 issues of Apama are going for just $20 for all 5 issues. That's cover price on all these books. Plus, they come signed by Mr. Ted Sikora himself. I got the regular. I got some variant covers over here. These look really beautiful. Everything is signed by Mr. Sikora, and without stepping on, without causing trouble for Ted, because only I can do that when we're at shows and he ends up owing me dinner. What happened? Ted is the co-writer of this, and he actually wrote this with Milo Miller, and they did this together. And I've always been a big fan of Apama. I have the 2 hardcovers that Ted put out. Ted did a wonderful job. Ted knows how to do hardcovers. Let me just tell you guys, and I'll get to that in just a second here. So this is some really good stuff here. I got both of these sets here going at cover price for these. Now, the reason why I'm not discounting this, guys, is because Ted, he
he needs to sell these books, not because he's trying to pay himself, but because he's trying to keep his book in production. All right. And he's giving you everything he has to offer. And I think it's a great deal. You're getting 5 comics, $20. You can get either the regular or the variant. I will ship them to you, and I will even throw in, like I said before, you get a bookmark and you get the Warline sketch. Just call it as you see it. And then I owe Ted money. And that's not a good place to be in this world. But I'm willing to take that shot for you guys, because you guys are why I'm here. What else do I got here? I got Ted's other signature series, Tap Dance Killer. This is what's hot. This is what's not getting talked about enough, guys. I'm telling you, Tap Dance Killer. Check this out, guys. All right, so this is a villain that actually appears in the Pama series. So this is all part of like a shared universe, and it all takes place in Ohio because that's where Ted is from. And aside from that fact, it's the only other place that I'm familiar with personally is Cincinnati. Ted is from Cleveland, so the story kind of takes place there, and it's a real hit out there. Ted always tells me that he does so well when he's doing conventions in his home state because it's kind of like, the whole home court advantage thing. And I never felt that with Yusum Shin before, even when I was in Korea, because it's kind of different. There's this language barrier. But I think it's really wonderful that, Cleveland's got its own superhero and its own superhero world now, thanks to Ted Sakura. And it's even got anti-heroes, and it's got a villain named Punchline who actually was premiered before the DC character. And so there's a little controversy with that. And there's a Kickstarter going on there now too. Ted is killing it on Kickstarter. He funded the first issue of his newest book, Punchline and the Vaudeville Villains, and it was funded within a day. It is now 200% funded. You can go on Kickstarter and actually back this right now, and you can do it after picking up this bundle set right here. These are the covers for Tap Dance Killer number 1 through 5. I really like this 5th issue cover. Ted shared this with me last year while I was on the road, and he was asking me what I thought about it. I think it's really great stuff. Guys, I'm telling you, Hero Tomorrow Comics, this is Ted's publishing line. It's really good stuff, really fantastic. I got $20 going on that set here. Now, we're going to talk discounts, because there is one thing that Ted actually agreed to discount. And I just got on the phone with him before the show, and it's this hardcover right here for Tap Dance Killer, which he put out. And guys, just look at that cover. That cover sells itself. It sells itself. It is a solid cover. And check out this beautiful end papers right here. Really cool. Signed by Ted, by the way, guys. Right there. He's got a really sloppy signature. That's how he signs his checks, and how he also signs his, the restaurant bills right after giving really horrible tips. But here's one tip he got that actually worked out for him really fantastically. He's got a forward by Jim Sauerkrupp. Jim Sauerkrupp, not trip on my words, who edited Spider-Man for a very long time. Huge contributor to comics, a co-creator on Venom. And he's a good friend of ours, and he really had faith in Ted. Ted has really, like me, the one thing we share in common is we really respect the legends, the veterans of Marvel, because they have so much to teach, and they're the guys whose legacy will live on through our work. So this is really cool stuff here. Now, Ted's got an MSRP of $30 on this book, and here's what he's willing to do right now. He's willing to go down as far as $25 in order to get this book in your hands. Folks, I'm telling you, this is a deal that you can't pass up on. It's got backup content. It's got all kinds of stuff. Ted shares his experiences. He's also got some extra art in here that's pretty cool. I think he probably managed to add this as Stretchable Tears. This was part of a successful Kickstarter campaign that took place last year. I think it's fantastic. Check out this Tap Dance Killer cosplay he's even hooked up with. $25 on that boy, and it comes signed by Mr. Ted Sakura himself, who will be coming on the show next week on Live with Onrie to talk about his Kickstarter and how things are going with that, and I can't wait to host him. It's going to be great, and maybe we'll even sell the books while he's live on the show with us. So maybe he can do some work for him. Maybe he doesn't have to have Uncle Onrie come out here and do everything for him because it's not fair, you know. I gotta eat too. Anyway, we also got some random Hellboy books, and of course I'm joking, folks. It's a pleasure pushing Ted stuff, and I will always do it. Both Kevin and I were always looking for creator-owned books. We want to help these guys out because we're right there with them. So we got Hellboy right here. We got some issues, random stuff here. And normally I sell these books at $5 a pop. I got, let's see, how many Hellboys do I got here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 Hellboy books here. Normally they're going for $5 a pop. That would be $30 total on these bad boys. I'm willing to do them right now for $15 total. $15 total, call it as you see it. You get all of those Hellboy books for free for $15. Nobody's laughing. What's going on, Tim, Joel? Why aren't you guys laughing? I'm trying to be funny here. The whole point of the Kickin' thing is when I make jokes, you guys gotta laugh.
I can't believe those prices, man.
You can't believe those prices.
No, man.
His head's about to blow off, folks. All right, Timmy, how you doing over there, brother?
I'm good.
You ready for me to kick it back?
Yeah, I can show you some of my stuff if you want me to.
Let's do it, brother. Take it away, man.
All right, guys. So this is going to be even more of the personal side of my stuff. So Onrie, Kevin, and a whole bunch of other people have asked me to start selling these. I've been drawing them for fun. This will be or would be my very first sale. So
hang on a second. Val, yep. I got you on Tap Dance Killer. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you. Ted owes you dinner. Just remember, you get a free dinner from Ted Sikora now that you got Tap Dance Killer. Ted's got the bill on that. And of course, you're just taking my word for it. Ted has not said that he would do that. I would sign this book, but I didn't work on it. I'm putting this aside for you. Thank you so much for your business. It really means a lot. I'm so happy. I sold a creator-owned book today. How do you guys like that? That can only happen on Kicking It with Onrie. Let's go back to Timmy here.
Awesome. And we did see your comment, Joe. I got you for the trade. Definitely saw the fist bump comment. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much for everything that you guys do for all of us. So thank you again. Going back to what I was talking about is I do my own artwork. That's the reason I'm really into comics. That's what got me into comics or not, vice versa, got me back into my passion of drawing. I love just the way that characters look in the cartoon form. Why? I don't know. It's just got a very nostalgic look to it, no matter what genre, what era. And it lights my passion. It keeps me de-stressed. That's my way of getting away and escaping the world. So I do my own work. I've been asked all the time to sell, and at the moment I haven't. I started changing my process of doing specifically sketches, and have gone to the blank comic side of the world. So it's kind of twofold. You get not only a custom one-time piece of artwork from myself, but it's also an actual comic book to read. The ones that I've done so far are on black covers of Venom. This was the Venom at the End.
Oh, and this is so tight. That is awesome.
So it does have a glisten to it as well. So when I'm all done with this is all done strictly by colored pencil. So this was extremely hard on a black cover to bring out those pops. But after it's all done, it gets sprayed and with a varnish on top of it to protect it and keep it. I mean, it feels like an actual hard comic once it's all done. So I do have this one available, and I'm going to run through all of them. And then if there's any takers on any, then we'll talk prices because they're not. We can negotiate that kind of stuff. The next one is just Venom 25, and this is where I've added Null. I love this cover because it's got Null on top, Carnage on the side that you kind of don't see, the Carnage symbiote coming down, and then he's holding, of course, Miles Morales, and black suited Venom is looking right at him. So it's kind of a really cool cover as well. Also on the black.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love that you are doing this, not just as like a collector, but as a fan and as somebody who just like enjoys doing this. And Timmy, I've seen you really put your work out there, and it has improved a lot. Like you've gotten a lot better at just your anatomy and everything just as you keep doing this stuff. It's really beautiful work, man. I'm so excited seeing this stuff on here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The other one that I have is a flash. I started also doing just more of sketches, just because a lot of people like that blank style as well. This is obviously from the Flash television show, not from the comic. I love that relationship and that fire that they bring to the actual DC show. And then I have a Catwoman one. This one I just love. This is actually just a rendering of my version of what Art Germ already did. So my biggest two favorite drawers in the comic world, outside of Stegman doing all of the newer stuff for the classic, and now a newer guy that kind of reminds me of that classic, is Alex Ross, of course, because everything is watercolors, and he somehow can bring out so much livelihood out of just watercolor paints. And then, of course, Art Germ. Art Germ has been just phenomenal on all of his pieces of work. One of his that I literally did as from my own hand of Catwoman, and it's got such a classic, like 50s feel to it. So I did that one of her.
That's a beautiful design.
Thank you. And then, of course, Mary Jane added the relationship with Spider-Man and her with the spider web in the back.
Beautiful.
Then I've got two, and these ones, as much as I try to do a good X-23, she came out a little bit more like, and I'll admit it, Tomb Raider, but the suited version of X-23 and Wolverine look great, but I tried to connect them too, and that's where she came
nice.
a little bit more like Tomb Raider than more so X-23. But that's kind of cool just because that's a connecting. If you take them out of the cases, they marry up absolutely perfect.
That's awesome, guys. That's Comic-Con right at your front door, folks. That's how it's done.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right.
And then the other two, I got just two more that are probably my favorites out of them. This is from the Empire series. If you haven't read it, it's really good. What's really cool is that two of the Fantastic Four are out in the universe fighting their own battle, and two of them are at home, but they still need additional help. So they've called upon Wolverine and Spider-Man to come in. This is their suit. They both have blue suits. The only difference from my version is, for whatever reason, they wanted to keep it nostalgic to the Fantastic Four suit being generic for all of them. So they're just solid blue, solid black with the 4 logo. I added his spider suit back, his webbing onto the suit, and that's got Wolverine's claws coming right at Spidey with his kind of his shocked, his Spidey sense going off. On that.
Great shot.
That is tight. That is awesome, Timmy.
And then just the last one is Spider-Man 1. And anyone knows this is kind of like the Hulk 181 versus 180. This is the real first cameo of Silk. After they've said that the ASM version one that I have, I'm sorry, I don't even have it up. Just looking at the wall. ASM, Amazing Spider-Man number 4. They're calling that the first one. But this, the moment you open it, it's got a cameo because it's actually the ad for that, and it's got her hidden in the background at the courthouse scene. And what's cool about this one is I've added what she originally looked like for the first 2 issues and what she's become over time. And I just love that together they're there. So if
Timmy, it looks like you got a sale, my friend. That Venom you showed, Joseph is totally down for it. So you can check that out.
Which one is he thinking?
So can you tell us the numbers on that?
Venom 25, and this is Venom, this is Venom 1, and it's just called The End. It's a one-shot. It's actually, unfortunately, after I drew on it, I realized this is completely black by itself is a very sought-after book, but it is drawn on, so it's not going to be the same value. But this is a hot book, and then this is just Venom 25 out of the current new run with Nolan.
Okay, so Joseph called on The End.
Okay.
Yeah, so pull the end aside, and then you guys will message each other.
Yep.
And you guys will work on a price for that. So.
Yep, Joe. If you wanna message me, like I do with everybody, you shoot me what you think is fair and reasonable, and we can work it from there. I don't want to be the one calling first.
Excellent. And Tim, I just want to tell you, you got some really beautiful artwork there, man. It's great to see you experimenting and doing things like this and having variants. It's like we don't just have an expert on slabbing on this show. We got an artist. We got a fan. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, excellent. Before we kick it back to Joel, I want to tell you guys what I found before I got on the show today. I was digging around in the warehouse looking for that one copy of the Raven #1 that I have, and I came across this box. Now, what's inside this box? Opportunity for you guys to go to the to pick up some stuff and get some more free swag. Now, here's what I'm going to do. First, before I show you what was in there, this is all E-related stuff, collectible stuff, this is early old school stuff. What was that book that I brought in here? That I meant to bring it in. All right, anyway, what I always do with every show, the next person who buys anything from yusumshin.com, you actually have to go to yusumshin.com and buy something, you get a free creator-owned book. I pulled out the title, but it's back in the warehouse right now, and we're kind of running low on time, so I can't tell you, but you're going to get a free creator-owned book. All you got to do is order anything and just call it as you see it, as I always say. But here's what I pulled out. I got these original posters, these pinups from Yusumshin. Joel, you remember working on these, dude?
Yes, those are old school.
Yep, I can't. You know, I heard that sigh that you gave as well, which is very perplexing. We went through a lot of drafts on this. It's Yusumshin. It's also says Yusumshin in Korean as well. It's written there, and it's got a quote on there. It says, "Those who seek death shall live, and those who seek life shall die." We got 100 of these, and we have 100 of all of these, which is pretty cool. Here's an Ashigaru. This is all early concept stuff for Yusumshin. This is something I was using as promo material back when Yusumshin was just getting started. And we got an early Baron So here, which is pretty cool. This is the villain of the Yusumshin series. Very cool stuff. And we got an early concept of the Kobok Sun. You can hang this up on your walls. You can get them framed. You can do all kinds of stuff. And here's what I'm willing to do for this. $5, you get all 5 of these. $5, you get all 5 of them. What else did we have in here? There was actually Wakizaka Yasaharu, one of the villains in our series. So $5 right now, all you got to do is call it. These come signed and numbered by me. I'll figure out how many of them I have in stock. I will hook you guys up $5. You get that Warline sketch. You get a bookmark, and you get a creator-owned book too. Just go to yusumshin.com. I'm going to change it in the banner at the bottom here. Get your Yusumshin fix at www.yusumshin.com. Every purchase comes with a free Warline sketch for a limited time only. All right, we're coming to the end here. Joel, how are we doing on progress? Do you have anything to show us?
Yes, of course. I have almost inked the character.
All right. Well,
can you
Jack,
see
if
them?
you're watching this, you know, you're seeing it for the first time just like I am. All right, guys, you ready? We're going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Well,
right.
Coming together. That's
it.
Progress. Look at that. That's excellent. Fantastic. Now, guys, keep in mind, this has still not been looked over or criticized by Dak. We're going to be looking for his critique because we want to give you the best story we can. We want to take his experiences and we want to tell the best story that we can through his guidance and through everything that he's going to do to help us really shed this out. So this character could look different the next time we see him. It's very possible. But Joel, I want to give you credit because you worked really hard on this and it is looking beautiful so far. I think Scavenger is going to be a villain that we're going to be talking about for a long time.
That's right. Very interesting character. Keep that in mind.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you said it with so much enthusiasm. Look at that enthusiasm, folks. It's blowing up from Argentina. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That's what we do on Kicking It with Onrie. We have a good time. And folks, again, I want to thank Joel for taking time out of his schedule to be with us today, to hang out with us. Look at that handsome face one more time. He's a hardworking artist. There we go. Timmy,
thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah,
all.
sorry, I didn't mean to put you
very much.
No, yeah, Timmy, thank you again as well for coming on the show. I'm probably going to get yelled at by Joel as soon as I go offline now. But here's what's cool, guys. like Mike James is saying right now, it's neat to see the character first made. Yes, that's what we do on Kicking It with Onrie. You guys are at the ground level. You are behind the scenes. We can't do this stuff at Comic-Con. We can only do it here, and we're going to continue to do it here. Tomorrow, what do we got tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm taking off because I'm going to be working on reworking the rack here. I'm going to be, I'm in the process of acquiring more inventory right now, so I got to get some of that figured out. And I got to talk with Timmy and Kevin and get everything planned for our Sunday show. A couple changes I want to tell you guys about. We are now in a prime time slot on CBSN on 2 days a week. We are on at Wednesdays from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's work our way back. I think that would be 1 to 3 Mountain Standard Time, and I'm not sure the other way around. I'm going to post it on Facebook. Just check it out. Do the math yourself. 3 to 5 p.m. every Wednesday, you will see Kicking It with Onrie and Kevin. We're going to have new stuff out there for you. We may not have new comics like straight off the stand because we're not doing distribution. And we're not sure how we're gonna do that, but we're gonna have new stuff to throw it your way. I'm always going to be acquiring independent stuff from other creators as well. I'm talking to some publishing companies as well, and we're talking about doing some exclusive stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to see a lot of that stuff happening on the Wednesday show, as well as our Thursday slot on CBS. And Fridays are the days you want to come on the show to kick it with me, to kick it with Joel, and to kick it with Timmy. And then Kevin and I are working on another day to move our Sunday show over. We're thinking about moving it over to Monday night. So I got to talk with Tim and Timmy about that. So we're having some schedule changes here. We also got the daylight savings. We're starting to build some traction here. Thanks to you, lovely viewers, we are selling stuff. I got so many orders right now. I need to actually put aside a whole day, an entire day, to catch up on all of my invoicing. So if you're waiting to pay your bill, just bear with me. We're still at the ground level with all this. We're building up. We still got to launch the website. There's still so much stuff going on. That's why I'm so crazy, because I just can't wait to get all this stuff out to you guys. It means so much to me to be back in business, to be selling comics, to be sharing work with you guys, to be out there. I feel like I'm back out there like I was at Comic-Con. And it's a truly great thing. Only on this show could I sell a creator-owned book, and that's not mine, which is really fantastic. And I can also sell Yusun Shin to you if you're interested. I can get you anything you need. All you got to do is just tune in when we're on live and let us know. And you can also let us know too by shooting us an email. You can also contact me directly when you go to yusunshin.com, and you can reach out to me on Facebook. If you guys are watching this, you guys are watching it through a channel that I currently have access to at all times. I always go back. If you saw something during this episode that spoke to you, all you got to do, let me know. I'll pull it aside for you. Thank you so much for a great week. We just had, I'm overwhelmed by how great this week has been. We've moved hundreds of comics this week, and we're just getting started. That really puts the bump in my rump. And I know that's inappropriate. I probably shouldn't. You know, if only Dak was here to edit me right now, he would, everything I was saying would not be there. Joseph, thank you for saying what you did. So Mike's saying, so now your show, and hours later Tom's show, my Wednesday will be busy. Yes, it will, Mr. Mike. It will be very busy. There is a lot going on Wednesdays. It's New Comic Book Day. And all of us dealers have something new and exciting to offer you. All of us are working together to make our shows better, to keep you guys entertained, to keep you coming back for more. So stay tuned. We got more stuff coming. Sunday will be our next stream, and hopefully we'll have Timmy joining us, and we'll be able to work that out. And until that time comes, onward to victory.